今天您将收看的是
从动画师到独立导演，西班牙裔的美国动画导演劳尔·加西亚参与了大量迪士尼经典电影的创作，开辟出自己独特的动画风格。
大家好，观众朋友们，您现在看到的是今晚我们看电影。在2019上海国际电影节上，美国著名动画片导演劳尔·加西亚担任了金爵奖短片单元评委会主席。那在今天节目当中呢，我们一起来欣赏一下劳尔·加西亚给我们带来的美妙的动画世界。
劳尔·加西亚，美国导演。2019年，他担任了第22届上海国际电影节金爵奖国际短片单元评委会主席。劳尔·加西亚出生于西班牙，从小就对卡通充满浓厚的兴趣。他从迪士尼动画以及经典文学电影里汲取了丰富的灵感，最终走上了动画师的道路。
Yeah, in general, I love movies. I grew up watching all kind of films, and definitely there's some directors that they've been really big influence on me. Stanley Kubrick, be one. Obviously, as I do animation, and Walt Disney is another one. In recent years, Hayao Miyazaki is another genius that I really admire. And in general, I come from a background of liking a lot of very classic movies. So it's true that even if you do animation, in theory, I look for something more than animated films. I like all kind of films. So from that point of view, there's a long history of world cinema that have an influence in my work.
从2003年起，凭借着丰富的经验，劳尔·加西亚开始独立导演和制作动画短片。然而此前，他从西班牙移居到美国之初，长期从事的是动画师的工作。他曾参与创作的作品包括《阿拉丁》《风中奇缘》《泰山》《钟楼怪人》和《狮子王》等。其中最重要的一部作品是《谁陷害了兔子罗杰》。
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a very special film for me because basically it's one of the films who broke new ground and somehow revitalized the animation films all around the world. When we were working in the film, classical animation was a little bit on the way down. People didn't remember all characters from all movies, animated movies. Animated movies in general, they were not produced very frequently. And with Who Framed Roger Rabbit first, there was the amazing technical breakthrough of combining animation with live action in a different way that it's been done in the past. In the past, when you combine live action with animation, the camera is locked. And the character moves in the screen from left to right, right to left, but the camera is locked, doesn't happen any kind of motion. With Roger Rabbit, Bob Zemeckis, the director, decided to shoot the movie like a normal live-action movie with all cranes, shots, and pans, and camera, and steady camera, and combine the animation with that. That was, in those times, were extremely difficult because everything had to be done hand-drawn. There was no computers. So basically we had to print every frame of film in drawing paper size, draw every frame, and somehow do manually all these camera moves. And at the same time, for me, they were very special because suddenly I had the chance to animate all my childhood heroes. I could animate Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and the Roadrunner, all these classical films that I grew up with when I was a kid.
Don't tell me you lost your sense of humor already. Does this answer your question?
you know, when you want to work in animation, you want to work with the best people. And for me, when I was growing up, again, when I was a kid, Disney was the best. Disney was my dream. So for me, suddenly work for Disney, someone from Spain going to the States and working for Disney was like a childhood dream come true. It was very special and very emotional because, you know, when people in animation, we are kind of like animation gypsies. We go from country to country, from one production to another production, from one studio to another studio, because there's not that much continuity in production of films. But Disney's been there like 75 years, 80 years. No? So when I started working at Disney in Aladdin or in Beauty and the Beast, it was not just working in one studio. It was working in one studio with history behind, with 75 years of history of beautiful films that I have to somehow match. I had to be in that high level. And it was, at the same time, was really stressful because I was the first animator from Spain that was hired. And at the same time, there was this historical responsibility of making work that will be at the same quality of the old classics. You know, if you work in a new studio, there's no history behind. Whatever you do. But if you work in a studio with that history, it's a legacy you have to somehow maintain and be there with it.
消失的天猫作母，动物们试图逃出猎人的魔爪，挫败他阴险的计划。最终，小伙伴们重获了自由。
Yeah, I mean, for my first film, The Missing Links, basically I wanted to do a family film. I came from a background of classical animation, 2D, working. So from that point of view, I was very proud of it. But then again, we go back to what we were talking about, independent films. Then I found that he was really an ambassador of the film all over the world. So that was really nice that we have really wide release all over the place. Here in Asia, in China, in Japan, in Korea, in all these countries, animation is viewed as another way to tell a story. But in the West, in Europe, in the United States, it's considered like a kid film. Animation is only for kids. So I wanted to break that and to actually show that you can tell any kind of stories with animation. And yes, a lot of my life I dedicate myself to do family films, family for kids. But at the same time, I have this dark side on me of trying to show why not make a horror film in animation and show that it can be as effective as any live action film, and it can compete for a more adult audience. At the same time, going back to how your films are shown and how you can reach a wide audience. With a family film, you have a competition with all the normal family films and animated films from big studios. With a horror film, you don't really have to push for that competition. You don't have to enter that game. That at the end is a question of investing money in publicity so it reaches a wide audience. With a horror film, you can go to a more reduced, select group of audience that they're more loyal to that genre.
奇特的故事是劳尔·加西亚2013年执导的电影，影片由5个故事组成，分别改编自爱伦坡的5部惊悚小说：《恶社府的崩塌》、《泄密的心》、《福德马先生案例的真相》、《陷坑与钟摆》以及《红死魔的面具》。此片曾获得第43届动画安妮奖最佳导演提名，第19届。
好，以上就是今天节目的全部内容，非常感谢各位的收看，让我们下一次再见。
下期您将收看的是
曹素公制墨技艺是国家非物质文化遗产。早在300年前，曹素公就是清代4大制墨家之首。 如今这一中华老字号面临着怎样的现状呢？